Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. It's Dead Format Theater, and I've gotten some great new pieces I'd love to show you guys. First off, we have Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline from 1969, Bob Dylan's very first full immersion into country music. A rather popular record. Ooh, The Beatles, Abbey Road, also from 1969. Their last recorded album, a very good album. Rush, Hemispheres from 1978, my personal favorite Rush record, and this is one of the very early pressings that has beautiful vampiric red vinyl. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Great score right there. I was very pleased to find that one. Rock's greatest hits. 20 great artists, 20 great hits, whatever. I don't usually go for these multi-artist records, but this one has a lot of really good bands on there. It's got Leonard Cohen, it's got Moby Grape, the Arbors, the Circle, lots of different genres, soul and pop and psychedelic. I haven't found a year on it. It's probably from 1969, I would imagine. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair from 1985, Tears for Fears' greatest album, with Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Shout, and all of those other great songs on there. Talking Heads, more songs about buildings and food from 1978, I believe. Their second album, the first produced by Brian Eno, a very good record. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Love this record, love this album. Absolutely fantastic piece from 1979. AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video from 1988. AC/DC's sort of a comeback album for them. This was pretty popular, and their previous three 80s albums weren't all that popular. This one did very well, though. Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man, also from 1988. This was a very, very popular for Leonard Cohen. Got him a lot of praise and acclaim from alternative artists and reviewers and whatever. Lynyrd Skynyrd, pronounced Leonard Skynyrd, from 1973, I believe. Oh, the Lynyrd Skynyrd's very first album. And this band picture was taken on Main Street in Jonesboro, Georgia. I've actually stood on the very same spot this picture was taken at, because I used to live there. Very cool stuff. Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66, Fool on the Hill. The Dean Martin Christmas album. Christy Lane, Learning the ABCs and How to Count. Disco Super Hits. Those last five albums. Got those accidentally. A little bit embarrassing. I'm not going to elaborate. Traffic, Shootout at the Fantasy Factory. Traffic is very fine. Hard rock, heavy, progressive jazz fusion band. Very wonderful to listen to. Very cool. And this hasn't been altered in any way. This album and the one before it came from the factory like this with the clipped corners. That was just their style. Very cool. Skin Alley, Skin Tight. Skin Alley was a little known, little remembered progressive rock band from Great Britain. They didn't do very well here in the U.S. at all. In fact, their first two albums weren't even sold here in the U.S. This is their fourth album, their last album, and it isn't very good at all. They're very poppy, not very pleasing to a progressive fan. Average White Band, AWB. Average White Band they're pretty well regarded as far as 70s music goes. This one has Pick Up the Pieces, their biggest hit on it. Very cool. Simple Minds, Life in a Day. Simple Minds, I believe this is their first album, but I'm really not sure. This is from 1979. Very early for Simple Minds. Good stuff, though. Peter, Paul, and Mary, their first album from 1962, I believe. This was actually a #1 record, a very rare thing for a folk album. But these guys are what really made folk popular here in the United States. Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car, the 12-inch single. Yeah, it's got like 4 different versions of Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car on it. Rather crazy. Who needs to listen to that song that many times in that many versions? The Ultimate Sin. Or I should say it in my The Ultimate Sin. Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that doesn't hurt at all. Uh, this was Ozzy's record from 1988, maybe 87. I'm really not sure. But you know, since this is the original record, the bassist I think helped Ozzy write most of these songs, and Ozzy didn't give him any credit and actually had his parts redone on later issues of the album. So this is an original one. It's still got the bassist parts on there, so I guess that's pretty cool. Night Ranger, Man in Motion. Okay, what is this? What is this? This is a neat one. What is this? Is sort of the first incarnation of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers. The original members of that band were all pretty much in What Is This? Isn't that cool when you can flip it over like that? Yeah. But yeah, Flea used to be in this, Alan Johans, Chris Hutchinson, Jack Irons. They got the name What Is This allegedly from the reaction audiences would have upon listening to their music. That doesn't speak very well for them. I haven't listened to it yet, so I can't confirm. Thompson Twins, In the Name of Love, everybody knows that one. The Sounds of Love, A to Z, sensuously synthesized. This is a neat one. This is basically the sound of a woman moaning and groaning against the backdrop of an ancient Moog synthesizer. But that's pretty neat, isn't it? You know, it's cool stuff. You gotta keep your eyes open for neat records like this. It's not, you know, something that many people, you know, care about, but, you know, it's a significant thing to have. Song and picture books, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And this is the record for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but it also has, you know, a little picture book in here, like for story time or whatever. Anyway, that's neat. I just thought that was cool. Blues is King by B.B. King from 1967, probably. Don't answer the door. B.B. King, very bluesy guy. Chicago 9, Chicago's first greatest hits record, having all of their greatest hits like Saturday in the Park and 20-something or whatever to whatever. Gary Wright, The Light of Smiles. Gary Wright got big with Dreamweaver, and he failed to impress anybody with this follow-up record. I've listened to it. It's not very good at all, I'm afraid. Very poppy and horrid. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. This is the audio record, a dramatization on vinyl of the book. One of my favorite books from when I was a little child baby. And this is actually from a library, a school library from back in those halcyon days when you could go to a library to check out a record. Not anymore, though, unless you live in, like, Europe or Norway, whatever. Stimulation from Billy Thorpe. Who cares? Quarter Flash. Not me. Starbuck. These guys are actually a Atlanta local band. Not very good, though. Frankie and the Knockouts. Generic 80s band? You guessed it. The Outfield. Voices of Babylon. I don't recall any specific details about that one. I'm usually pretty good about that. Aldo Nova. Aldo Nova is one of the cheesiest hair metal bands of all time. If you've never seen the music video for the